What are some changes the Vikings need to make before the Titans game this Sunday? Well, I'm going to talk about it on today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. And even though the Vikings are off to a 7-2 start, you can always get better. So I got 5 things that I think the Vikings need to change. But before I show you my 5, you guys just got to give me one here. What is one change the Vikings need to make? It could be anything. It could be starting, a guy like Dalton Risner over Ingram. It could be, getting Jordan Addison the ball more. Let me know your thoughts. What is one change the Vikings need to make? Type it down below. Number 1 for me, feed Aaron Jones less. Yeah, I think the Vikings need to take away touches from Aaron Jones. And this has nothing to do with his production. He has been fantastic. I have not enough compliments to give the number 33 and what he has done for this football team this season. But not a good stat here. Aaron Jones right now is set to break his record for most touches in the season. He has a lengthy injury history. He's already been banged up this year. He's almost 30 years old. I believe December 2nd is his birthday. So I don't think this is a good thing that he has, gotten a ton of touches. And, also the Vikings have a guy in Cam Akers that we'll talk about here where he can come in and, obviously there would still be a little drop off, but I don't think it would be that extreme. But, Aaron Jones has been awesome this year, man. Really, again, don't have enough compliments to give him, but explosive runs of 10-plus yards, he's got 15. He's already forced 26 missed tackles. PFF grades him out as an 82.3. Rushing yards over expected. He's in the positive, plus 27. And he also is a great dual threat out of the backfield, receiving grade 81.7. But, another big reason why they should take away, touches from Jones is, get Cam Akers more touches. I thought he's looked great in his limited action with the Minnesota Vikings. 19 carries, 84 yards, isn't going to blow you away. But, I think this is also a thing where it's obviously you're not going to put a guy on IR, but I would almost want over the next 2 weeks where it's the Titans and the Bears, even though there's our road games, tough matchups. It's always tough to win on the road in the NFL, but have Cam Akers be the lead back. So then when it's Packers, Lions last 2 weeks of the season, and then obviously playoff time, Aaron Jones, then it's all aboard the Aaron Jones train. He is getting 25, 30 carries in a playoff game. But if you keep on this pace, I guarantee you, when those games come around, week 17 and 18, it won't be the same guy. So Cam Akers getting more touches. That's a change I would make. And then number 2, Flores turns the heat up. Now, the Vikings, as we know, they bring more pressure than any team in the National Football League. But I want to have Flores just turn that up a little bit because I think that's when this defense is at its best. And the Vikings, they actually have the highest blitz rate in the NFL at 41.1%. But Flores, I want more. And I think a great example of that was against the Jags this past weekend where, he was showing the typical, mug look, pressure look. And in the first half, they kept bailing off. They would only run 4 or 3 guys at the quarterback. Second half, that changed. He was blitzing 6, 7, 8 guys. And then we saw Mac Jones. He could not move the football against the Vikings last week. And, I think these numbers do a great job of kind of supporting that. The Vikings' MO, their bread and butter, is their pressure. Is them turning the heat up on the opposing team's quarterback. Turnovers, 20 forced already. That's first. 110 pressures this season for the Vikes. That is first. And then defensive EPA, defensive DVOA. The Vikings are first in both those categories. I think the Vikings almost defensively play more into your strengths, and their strengths is getting after the quarterback and almost leaving your corners a bit on an island on the back end. And, another reason why I think this should happen is having this guy back, Blake Cashman. He's been freaking awesome for the Minnesota Vikings. I will tip my cap to Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. I think him and Grenard, taking both those guys from the Houston Texans, that has changed this season. If we didn't sign Cashman or didn't sign Grenard, this defense would not be playing as well as it's played. And, PFF, they agree. 14th overall linebacker out of 122 eligible. He's been awesome. Run defense, he's great. Pass rush, he's great. Coverage, he's great. He really does it all. And I know we like to call Andrew Van Ginkel the most versatile player in the NFL. This guy's right up there. He can play the linebacker position in a plethora of different ways. So got to show a lot of love to 51. And then also the second-year young cat from the Cincinnati Bearcats. How about Ivan Pace Jr., man? Really see Pace take that step up when Cashman's in the lineup. And, he's got a fumble recovery for a touchdown, 3 sacks, 6 TFLs. He is really that kind of bull in the china shop at the linebacker position. And, I'll show this every single week because it keeps on getting better. Like, Pace, according to PFF, with Cashman in the 4 weeks, he's been awesome besides one. Like, Cashman, for example, he had a 75.5 overall grade. That was the 14th rated linebacker. Well, Pace in 3 of the 4 games, he's above 70. And 2 of these games around 80 overall grade. Pace, I don't think he's the best guy with the green dot. He talked about in the offseason that he wants to, be that guy, be that play caller. But, it's not like Pace is bad with it. It's just Cashman is so elite with it. Like, this is, I'm going to call it like a check defense where, you show a look, offense adjusts, then the defense adjusts in response to that. And when you have Cashman calling it all out, like, that's when this defense is really at its best. So let's show Blake Cashman some love. Type his jersey number. Give me those 51s down below in the comment section because I just love watching this guy play. He just plays football the right way. He's a great, great linebacker. So show him some love down below. Give me a 51. Now, third change I would make is just improve the fourth quarter passing game because these numbers I'm about to show you right now are completely staggering. So let's start off with the best weapon, best wide receiver in the National Football League. So here, Jefferson's yards divvied up per quarter this season. First half, this man's awesome. 233 yards in the first quarter, 312 yards in the second quarter, and even the third quarter, he's not bad as well, just under 200. But in the fourth quarter this season, think about this. In 9 games played, Jefferson is averaging less than 10 yards per fourth quarter. He only has 88. This needs a change because especially in these playoff games, these high leverage situations, I just feel like naturally as a quarterback, you're going to look to your number one option. And if they're not scheming him open, I think this could be a problem. And I think this right here, is a direct correlation to this. Sam Darnold, completion percentage by quarter. Staggering. First half, he is above 70%. 71.6 in the first, 74 in the second. And then the third quarter, 58.7. Then in the fourth quarter, this guy's only completing 50% of his passes. So how do you help this? You get a quick pass game going. And I think that starts with this man right here, TJ Hockenson. In terms of the Sam Darnold completion percentage in the fourth, clearly he has a connection already with Hawk. And we saw it on that one drive against the Jags. Like, Hockenson, we had multiple 3rd and longs on the drive in the second quarter, and Darnold just looked his way every time. They had Hawk on a choice route, and, he looked awesome. He was getting open almost every single time. So, fourth quarter, I want to see it be a lot of Hawk and Jettas. And then also, we'll talk about it here, maybe get Jordan Addison more involved in the first half. So, I'll tell you guys the 2 other changes here in a second. But first off, got to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys download the app today, use code CLNS. You guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. All you do is you pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. If you guys want to increase your viewing experience for like a Timberwolves, even a Minnesota Wild game, or obviously a Vikings game, Prize Picks is the best way to do so. So if you guys think Jefferson will get more than 83.5 yards next week, take his more on Prize Picks. You guys can put some cash in your pocket. So download the app today. Use code CONS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, use code CONS, get $50 instantly, play your first $5 lineup. But shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Run your game. Number 4, you knew this was coming. Free 3. Get Jordan Addison the frickin' ball more because I hate looking at his stats. Producer text, I don't even want to throw this up on screen because it's a joke. Like, all right, we could throw it up on screen. We could show the people. But, this is just a joke to me. I mean, in 7 games played, man, less than 300 yards, 33 targets. That just can't happen. And he is a deep play threat, like 14.2 yards per catch. I've watched all 22 film. I've watched every single route he has ran this season, probably about 5 times. This dude gets open. And what is so concerning here is targets this season for Addison, only 30. That's 78th in the NFL. I say that again. Jordan Addison has gotten the 78th most targets in the league this year. That's just bad. I don't know if that's on Darnold. I don't know if that's on O'Connell, but this is probably week number 5 of me saying free 3. And honestly, I'm tired of saying it because the Vikings still have yet to get him involved in this offense. And, it even goes deeper than that. This dude's drop rate this season, is a goose egg. It's 0.0%. He catches the football. The percentage of team targets, this is concerning here. 13.7. That's got to be more around 25, 30% in my opinion. Jefferson is obviously going to get around 50, but Addison at 13.7, that just can't happen. Then average yak, they don't throw him, like the type of routes he runs to are kind of just like the find the zone or find the hole in the zone routes. Like they're not allowing him to, get yak yards, and big reason why, 1.7, not good. Average depth of target. Again, it's just these deep kind of curl routes that he's running all season long. I'm sure if I can notice it, I'm sure other defensive coordinators can notice it. Still pretty high at 15 yards as his ADOT this season. But number 5 for me, build momentum. The Vikings got a chance now to really rip off some wins. Their schedule over the next 5 games is very gettable, everybody. Like, you're in Tennessee, you're 6-point favorites, you're 5-point favorites in Chicago the week after. Those both should be wins. Bam, you're 9-2. Then you come back, a 9-2 football team, back in US Bank Stadium for 3 straight winnable home games. I think they'll embarrass the Cardinals. I think Kirk Cousins, even though that's his revenge game, I'm still going to ride with the Vikes. Then obviously the Bears, I'm going to take the Vikes as well. You handle business in 5 games, you will be more than a field goal favorite in. You got a chance to be 12-2. And here's my take on the whole situation. The Vikings have a chance here to build some confidence heading into the playoffs. They're a dangerous team, but they've kind of messed around with the Jags and Colts the past 2 weeks. And if you can just go dismantle a Tennessee Titans team that you should, I'm sure the confidence in that locker room will start to grow. And then if you rip off like a 7-game win streak here with all next 5 games being very gettable, I'm sure those guys in the locker room, maybe it's a little false confidence, but confidence is confidence, where they're starting to talk to themselves, be like, man, if we just go beat the Lions in Week 18, we could be the 1 seed, and all we need is 2 home playoff wins to get to the Super Bowl. I think a lot of Vikings fans, I think they're viewing this year as just kind of like a throwaway year. Like, yeah, we're good. We'll make the playoffs. We may win a game, but we got no chance to win the Super Bowl. And, I've actually tweeted the Vikings have no chance. But, again, if you finish this regular season strong, you get that number 1 seed, which is very much on the table here. They actually have the Vikings as a 15% chance. Again, not high, but there's still a chance for that to happen. I don't know. I just think the Vikings build some momentum these next 5 weeks. That would be huge for this ball club. But let's wrap up today's show with this. Name a random Vikings player for me. Mine, who was one of my favorites when I was growing up? Not too random. I'm going to go Sidney Rice. 2009, had over 1,300 yards with Favre. That's a while ago. But also, give me a follow on Twitter. That's the handle right there, @PatSieps. I'll give you guys a follow right back. See you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.